There are few bonds as unshakable as the bond between a man and his machine. More than anywhere else, at Khardungla Pass in Ladakh, that bond is pushed beyond its limits. Riding a Royal Enfield through the Himalayan Odyssey is a heady combination of guts, glory and tradition. There's an unmistakable scent of freedom in the mountain air. Every year, for dozens of riders, this is a rite of passage. These men have achieved what they never imagined they could till they set out from Delhi on a ride of a lifetime. Today, they have conquered Khardungla, a biker's mecca and the highest motorable pass in the world. At the age of 45, Captain J.S. Maan is the second oldest rider this year. Being a former army man, this was an adventure he couldn't miss.
It's been an amazing experience. I was wondering whether at this age I would be able to take the high altitude thing and the mountain sickness kind of all that kind of a thing. But then I think right from the youngest person from 22 years old till the eldest person in this Odyssey that is 55 years old, it's been an amazing amalgamation of people, experiences.
For Gordon May, a travel writer, this was an assignment of a lifetime.
This is my first time to Khardungla, and it's a great feeling to have got here with all the guys on their Royal Enfields.
And so we reach Khardungla, but it's not over yet. The best part about the Odyssey is that it saves the best for the last. The journey will now go through some of the most demanding conditions, and we will be there to get you all the highs and the lows.
Not many know that the return leg from Khardungla to Delhi is as challenging, if not more. The terrain on the way back is even more remote, with rocky paths instead of tar roads and slippery water crossings. Today's target is 130 kilometers. And the riders know they will have to brace themselves for bad weather, punctured tires and mechanical breakdowns. Winding your way up to Tanglangla, the world's second highest motorable road, isn't the easiest thing. It's the first real test with a 40-kilometer climb through narrow snow-lined roads.
Well, the Himalayan Odyssey has started on its return journey, and we've hit our first major landmark, the Tanglangla Pass. This is the highest point on the entire Manali-Leh highway. The conditions are very difficult, it's very difficult to breathe, but it's still worth it to wait here and take some pictures.
At 17,500 feet, the wind is strong and icy cold. Every shot is a struggle, but for some, it doesn't really matter. Pengong Sarkar is used to working in the depths of the sea on oil rigs, but these heights are a whole new challenge for him.
Riding through snow, which has never happened in the past. Lots of wind in my lungs, sun on the face, never felt better.
And then Moree Plains, an ancient seabed pushed up to a height of 15,000 feet as the Himalayas formed around it. The ideal spot for a picture-perfect moment as all the riders line up together for the only time on the trip. And then they are off. For the first time in 10 days, the riders' off-roading and navigational skills will be tested. Their tires kicking up clouds of dust, the riders race to this campsite, a few kilometers off the Manali-Leh highway. Some choose to call it a day, while others want more.
Just one of the many beautiful places the Odyssey gets you to, Lake Sokar, hidden right in the middle of the Himalayas, and the sight has certainly brought some joy on the faces of tired bikers.
2 kilometers away from the campsite is the Sokar or White Lake. It gets its name from the thick layers of salt that cover its shores. But this beautiful lake is shrinking with each passing year and may soon cease to exist because of global warming. It's been a bitterly cold night, and Abid is grateful for the sun's warmth. This is as far removed as he can get from the tea estates on the Bengal-Assam border, where he works as an estate manager. It's been 10 years since his last road trip, but it all comes back the moment he saddles up.
Last night was cold, but also once you got warmed up, it was quite cozy. The arrangements have been quite nice. You didn't require a sleeping bag, whatever it was here. But I believe it was -4 degrees last night. So, minor activities, your breath goes up because, and last few days we all have been continuously over 10,000 feet. And so unpacking is not very difficult, but packing up in the morning is always difficult. You have to fold up that, and every small thing, even including zipping up your pants and your jacket and everything, takes a little bit of effort.
Mrigank is helping the riders tank up for the long ride ahead.
It's just, there's only X number of guys for 50 odd bikers. It just becomes a toll at these heights, they get exhausted. So might as well give a hand to everybody to just get things going quicker, better.
Riding through the Himalayas is anything but a leisurely break, as this Mumbai-based investment banker discovered.
Started off being a lot of fun. In fact, I was one of the guys who had an accident on the first day, very first day. So a lot of self-doubt, but pulled through. Initially we set out for it to be a vacation, then you realize, look, it's not that easy. So you get used to it. You learn not to open your bags, keep it shut. Max, open one t-shirt, change and move on, because the routine is quite exhausting.
Today's 225-kilometer long ride will end in Keelong in Himachal Pradesh. And the first challenge will be the unpredictable Moreh Plains. Another couple of mountain passes, and then like a line of ants scurrying around the 21 hairpin bends that form the famous Gata loops. Finally, a few comfy beds and a warm meal at Sarchu on the Himachal border. A place where even the most basic food feels like bliss. And riders get some time to look back at the ride gone by.
It's been quite unusual for me because I'm used to riding on my own. And a group of nearly 60 riders has been quite a challenge. But the camaraderie amongst the guys is fantastic. Everyone gives everyone else a helping hand, and it's made it a really enjoyable way to see the Himalayas.
Baralachla Pass is up next, and the riders are a bit tentative. It had snowed here during the ride to Leh, and if it happened again, it could be tricky. Luckily, the sun is out and the riding is good.
As if crossing the most dangerous pass wasn't enough, we're crossing it at the most dangerous time. Baralachla at 16,500 feet at 4 in the evening can be quite a task. But luckily today the sun is out. The place is looking beautiful, so we can afford to spend some time here.
But only some time, because at such heights the weather changes from good to bad in minutes. Thundering along through the thick walls of snow and ice, the riders came across deep water crossings that test their balance and riding skills. And not everyone made it through with ease. As they ride through Darcha, Patsio and Jispa, the terrain just keeps getting worse, till they finally reach Keelong. Early next morning, the riders begin with their customary stop at Tandi petrol pump, the only one along the Leh-Manali highway. This will be the toughest day of the entire route. with a 170-kilometer ride to Kaza in the Spiti Valley. And the riders know they would have to pay special attention to this morning's briefing.
Now today we need to be focused and disciplined. Now it's better to get your feet wet than to get your whole bike and your whole body wet.
It's going to be a challenging ride today, and everyone knows their riding skills would be tested to the limits.
I just got to put on my waterproof gears on because there's a lot of water crossings today. As they say, this is one of the toughest rides of the whole Odyssey in terms of maneuvering your bike through the water, paddling.
To be honest, riding on these kind of roads requires 100% attention. Even if you waver for 2 seconds, you're off the line and then something or the other is bound to happen.
The pack will be riding towards one of the remotest parts of the country, where stretches of tarmac would be a luxury, where crossing an oncoming vehicle would be a break from the monotony, and where apart from hardcore bikers and even more hardened locals, no one dares to venture. But thankfully for the riders, the Royal Enfield service support team is on standby, ready to help. The moment any one of the riders gets into trouble, the support team is there. There is even a doctor on permanent standby. As the sun pierces the horizon on the breathtaking National Highway 22, it lifts the collective spirits of the pack of riders on the Himalayan Odyssey. Despite the beauty in the skies, the reality on the ground is very different. The entire 80-kilometer stretch of the highway is testing every single rider, and the road changes from tolerable to nightmarish in seconds.
I've certainly found water crossings very challenging, and I know a lot of other riders have. I did see one guy yesterday riding with both his feet up in the air, which was very dangerous because crossing water, there's boulders and rocks underneath. You can be easily bounced off your bike if you don't have full control.
I managed to, my shoes and socks not to get wet till now, but on this journey, today on this road, everything is drenched knee below.
Then comes Kunzum Pass at over 15,000 feet. This is one of the toughest passes in India. There is no road, only a combination of hairpin bends, rocks and snow. The climb to the top is excruciating, with the bikes refusing to go into the third gear. But once you reach there, the view is breathtaking. All around you, snow-clad peaks rising up to 20,000 feet. Absolute silence except for the howling wind and the sound of temple bells floating through the mountain range.
We went round the temple, we took a detour. There's a unspoken dictum and faith in people that although the road goes right straight there, but people take a detour and circumvent the temple, and the faith is that your journey is safe and sound and you return home safe.